Welcome to our 5th episode of At Mac. I'm your host, Allie Gordon. For those of you who are not aware, MacArthur Middle School has a new principal. Mr. Mark Mattingly has returned to Mac as the interim principal. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have been in education for a while, 41 years. I retired last year at the end of the year and then came back to work for Lawton Public Schools. And I was asked when Miss Stever decided to retire if I would come back out here and serve as the interim principal. So I'm back at MacArthur after I'd been gone for 8 years, and I spent 9 years as MacArthur principal. Prior to that, I was principal at Geronimo Road before that for 9 years. I was principal at Edison Elementary for 2 or 3 years. I'm not sure. That's getting back into the 90s and going back a ways. And before that, I taught at Central Junior High and coached some. So that's my education experience. I have 4 grandchildren that I'm very proud of, and my wife is the principal over at Eisenhower Middle School. So,
why did you decide to leave Mac?
Well, I moved to the central office 8 years ago, and so it was a promotion, so I left because of a promotion.
What have been your biggest accomplishments since you've left Mac?
My biggest accomplishments, nothing that I did, but having 4 grandchildren is a pretty big deal to me, having those kids. They're just a lot of fun, and I love my family.
What was your favorite memory at Mac before you left?
Oh, my favorite memory, there are a lot of memories. We had some really good football teams, some good basketball teams. We used to do Scott Talk every morning in the auditorium, and I had a lot of fun with that. I interacted with the kids a lot doing that. Had some good memories from that. There are just a lot of good memories from being at MacArthur.
Why are you coming back to Mac?
Well, I'm coming back because your principal retired, and you need somebody to blame everything on.
What are your expectations for this year?
My expectations are to work with your principals, your counselors, your teachers, and help them continue to do the great job that they've been doing. I don't expect to change a whole lot while I'm here. I'm just going to be here for the rest of the year as interim. Then you'll get a new principal next year who hopefully will be here for quite some time. So I just expect to be able to help your teachers and the staff do the best job they can.
Did you ever coach any sports or teach any?
I did. I coached football, I coached basketball, I coached baseball, I coached golf, tennis, girls softball, and that's about it. So yeah, I coached a little bit.
You've pretty much done it all. What was your favorite sport?
My favorite sport was to coach was probably golf, because I got to play a little golf while I was coaching. But as far as a coach and coaching a team, I really enjoyed coaching basketball. That's what I started out doing and wanted to be a basketball coach at the high school level. But after I had a family and all, there's a lot of time goes into being a coach or being a good coach. You have to really be dedicated and spend a lot of time with it. Excuse me, and I just decided that raising my children and being with my family was something I couldn't sacrifice for coaching and be the kind of coach that I needed to be.
Did you ever teach a subject?
Yes, I taught. I've taught several things. I taught driver's ed. I taught American history, Oklahoma history, physical education, geography. My major was PE, but my minor was in social studies. So my classroom teaching was in social studies.
Did you have a favorite, between PE and like history and stuff?
I taught elementary PE 1 year at Geronimo Road, and that was a lot of fun because I just put on my tennis shoes and gym clothes and jumped rope with those little kids and played games with them. That was a lot of fun. But as far as the classroom, I really enjoyed teaching any of the social studies. I like to talk and tell stories, and teaching history is just something I enjoy, and I learn a lot as I teach it too, because there's always something new to learn.
Have you ever worked at like a high school or?
I have. I taught at the first job I had was in a high school, and I taught driver's ed and American history and Oklahoma history there, and coached the high school basketball team. And I guess that's the only time I taught high school was in that first year. Then after that, it was all junior high or middle school pretty much, except for the time I did as an elementary PE teacher.
Did you have a favorite? Like, did you like keep teaching high school, middle school, or elementary better?
Well, when I was an elementary principal, I really enjoyed going in the fifth grade classrooms, and middle school was something that I enjoyed the middle school age kids. Fifth grade is close to, in some districts, fifth grade is a part of the middle school. So about the time kids get into fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, they're kind of into that middle school mindset. And I enjoyed the fifth grade working with those kids, but all of the middle school is kind of my favorite.
How many schools have you taught at?
How many schools have I taught at? Oh, I'm going to have to think way back now. Well, I've taught in 4 districts, but then within Lawton, I've taught and been principal at Central, Douglas, Geronimo Road, Edison, and MacArthur. So you'll have to count those. I didn't keep count as I named them.
What was your favorite school to teach at in Lawton?
MacArthur Middle School. Absolutely, without a doubt. I wouldn't have come back if it wasn't.
How many years have you taught?
Well, I've been in education 41 years. This is my 41st year. So I actually was in the classroom teaching for 10 years, then became an administrator for the next 31 years. So.
Okay. Before we end our interview, we would like to thank Miss Regina Stever for all her years dedicated to our students at MAC and throughout Lawton Public Schools. We wish you a happy retirement. Thanks again for joining us on At MAC. Remember to like and subscribe to our social media pages for new episodes from MMS Media.
This episode of At Mac was produced by Allie Gordon, Tisha Patel, Bella Burns, Izzy Hughes, and Brody Brown as part of MacArthur Middle School Media. I am the broadcast advisor, Mr. Elijah Morlett. Thank you to Mr. Mark Mattingly for the support making this episode. This program was made possible through the support of the Lawton Public School Foundation, the K20 Education Center at the University of Oklahoma, and the citizens of Lawton-Fort Sill through the 2017 Student Investment Program.